Zeitz laid the foundation one stone for his company, Karatbars International. The goal was for every human being to be able to own gold. What was once a one-man show is now a worldwide empire of companies that generates an annual turnover of more than 100 million euros. But Harald Zeitz has even bigger goals. A gold-based means of payment, which is crisis-proof and will revolutionize our financial system. For innovative gold products and blockchain solutions.
Looking for freedom from the system.
Raubat Yasar, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Hotep, Shalom, and peace and blessings to all those around the world. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's definitely a wonderful day to be here in Karatbars. I thank you all for joining me today. I'm hoping that everybody can hear me. This is kind of a test in some ways, you know how I do. So I'm hoping y'all will work with me a little bit in that sense. Make sure you show me some comments, show me some love. If you're able to see this, okay, on Facebook, I'm hoping everybody's able to see it, okay? They do, for whatever reason, keep turning it to private on me, and I'm not sure why. But just let me know via chat if you are able to tune in and to see what's going on right now on my live. I'm hoping that you are. It's on Facebook. It's saying it should start soon. So also, I got my YouTube viewers on here today, so I want to tell everybody, show everybody some love today, my Facebook and my YouTube viewers. And as I start getting some comments, I'll be able to kind of move on and know. I'm hoping it's working okay. Facebook, I've been having a little trouble with this application for some reason here. So hopefully I can get that resolved soon. But for whatever reason, it keeps setting or just by comment. Could y'all let me know if you can hear me okay? And if you can see me okay, if you're able to tune into today's stream, that would be a nice benefit. Okay. So I'm going to assume, I'm hoping people can see and people can hear what's going on with me right now. I got a couple likes up there. Looks like JoJo Campbell, Gloria Bass, Robert Chandler. Okay. There's something. Okay. All right. So Facebook says it's up now. All right, good. So yeah, there was a little bit of an issue there. I'm still working on getting this all together. YouTube right now also. So I'm really excited because this is the first time that I brought the show to both Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Big things going on. Yeah, so I got this warrior monk, Master Shi Heng Yi, and he's going to be talking about the 5 hindrances to self-mastery. And so I'm really excited because this is some amazing information. I had to take notes. I probably spend one whole day just really breaking down this lecture, but give you a little piece of it for now, okay? So let's get it in.
Sharing with others. There is something about connection. There is the training and development of yourself. It is to enjoy your time, even doing nothing. And one main aspect is to find a way and do the things you like to do. Now, when I received the invitation to have a talk at today's event, especially under the slogan, High, Higher, Highest, something very particular came up on my mind. And a master from the Shaolin Temple once told me a story that I would like to share with you. A man was living close to a mountain. And every day he was thinking, how would it be to climb that mountain, and what would I see on the peak? So finally the day came, and the man went on the journey. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, he met the first traveler. So he asked, how did you get up the mountain, and what did you see from the top? And so the traveler shared his path and also the view that he had. But then the man was thinking, the way that this traveler described to me sounds very exhausting. I need to find another way to climb. So he continued to walk on the foot of the mountain until he met the next traveler. So once again he asked, how did you climb up that mountain? And what did you see from the top? And so again the traveler shared his story. Still not being determined on which direction and which way to go, the man asked 30 more people, 30 more travelers. When he finished talking, he finally made up his mind. Now that so many people already shared with me their past and especially what they all saw from the top, I don't need to climb there anymore. It is very unfortunate this man never went on the journey. Now, to conclude this story, firstly, each individual needs to find the most suitable way to climb that mountain.
Ooh.
But secondly, there is information shared with words. But it is impossible to share the experience of clarity when you are standing on that peak by yourself. To invest the right effort in climbing that peak is very much what all the Buddhist practices, the Shaolin training, or any spiritual practice is about. Clarity means you see more clear. When you see more clear, interrelations become more apparent. When you see more clear, there is no need to believe anyone or anything. Seeing clear means you can distinguish for yourself which is the proper direction to take and which decisions do I have to make in order to make my goals or aspirations start to shape. Now, at today's talk, you will have the chance to become inspired by quite a lot of different travelers. But in this particular talk, I can't and I won't tell you which way to go. It's just that along your personal journey, you will encounter challenges. Those challenges will either prevent you or some of them even stop you from moving on and climbing that mountain. In the Shaolin Temple, we refer to them as the Five Hindrances. The Five Hindrances are describing different states of the mind. In those states of the mind, it becomes very hard to see clearly and therefore engage in the right decisions. The first hindrance is called sensual desire. Sensual desire arises in the moment when you are paying attention to something that is giving you a positive emotion. This positive emotion can originate from 5 gates of your body. seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, or feeling. So in your mind, you climb up that mountain. After 1 mile of walking, you discover a beautiful restaurant surrounded by beautiful people. You smell delicious food and the great variety of beverages. When you follow that temptation, you have already lost your track. When this temptation becomes so strong that you don't want to leave that place anymore, then the sensual desire has turned into an obsession. In both cases, remaining at that place means you can't get clarity. The second hindrance, ill will, describes a state of the mind that arises from negative emotions. In that state of the mind, you have an aversion.
And I think to some of my Sabian brothers and sisters, we might call this feeding the forces, right? But the idea is, in this case, ill will, and I think this is an important one because it really, I feel like, can hinder us, and it's where you get caught or you stay and feed into, like a negative state of emotion. I just think ill will is a real important one. I hope that I didn't rewind this somehow by accident. It looks like I did. Daggone it. Okay, so let's try to get us back up to where we were, hopefully somewhere close.
Challenges. Now, to conclude this story.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, this is pretty
First,
close.
Is very much what all the Buddhist practices, the Shaolin training, or any spiritual practice is about. Clarity means you see more clear. When you see more clear, interrelations become more apparent. When you see more clear, there is no need to believe anyone or...
And I'm just, hey, look, maybe I'm not clear, but interrelations to me can deal with networking, people, the people that you're connected with.
Believe anything. Seeing clear means you can distinguish for yourself which is the proper direction to take.
Right.
And which decisions do I have to make?
We're past here, but
we refer to them as the five hindrances. The five hindrances are describing different...
I wanted you to just take a look at this image here. Oh shoot, it jumped on me. Let me see if I can. I think somehow I'm making the YouTube video jump by hitting the numbers accidentally. That's not my intention here. I wanted to show you this five hindrances wall. So the first one is sensual desire, and that just, to me, that means liking something too much. The second is ill will, like, and having like a type of some people say hate. Oh, there it goes again. I gotta stop messing with this. It's definitely messing with the YouTube. Let me see if I can get us back up to where we were. Daggone it. But ill will, just having a disagreeable feeling or just being angry at someone, for instance, is a good example. I read this metaphor one time, and it says, being angry at someone and expecting them to suffer is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. So a lot of time when you're angry and the other person's not even thinking about it. And so this ill will can kind of um, uh, devour you. And the third one, dullness, I think is really, really important because dullness is like the way he explains it. I'm going to let him explain it a little bit better. But number three, dullness is like, he says, it's like being in this prison where you can't think or you're not moving towards your potential or thinking clearly. And I think that's a really, really important one. And he said, I'm going to let him go in here. Sorry about that. I just had to touch on them a little bit.
In the moment when you are paying attention to something that is giving you a positive emotion. This positive emotion can originate from 5 gates of your body: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, or feeling. So in your mind, you climb up that mountain. After 1 mile of walking, you discover a beautiful restaurant surrounded by beautiful people. You smell delicious food and the great variety of beverages. When you follow that temptation, you have already lost your track. When this temptation becomes so strong that you don't want to leave that place anymore, then the sensual desire has turned into an obsession. In both cases, remaining at that place means you can't get clarity. The second hindrance, ill will, describes a state of the mind that arises from negative emotions. In that state of the mind, you have an aversion, a rejection, or simply a dislike against either an object, a situation, or can be even a person. To simplify, it means you are climbing the mountain and it starts to rain, but you don't like rain.
You don't like rain.
You discover the roads are bumpy, but you don't like bumpy roads. In order to cross the river, you need to swim, but you don't like swimming. Whatever it is that you dislike, it won't make it a pleasant journey unless you learn to let go of this ill will. It's more likely even that you won't continue that journey.
Oh,
The third hindrance, originally translated,
he said, if you don't get rid of this ill will, it is likely you will not even continue the journey. Powerful, powerful stuff, man.
as sloth and torpor. Sloth means it's the heaviness of the body. Torpor means it's the dullness of the mind. It is characterized by sleepiness, non-motivation, lack of energy, and oftentimes can manifest itself in a state of depression.
Sure.
Now, similarly used in Buddhism, describes it as imprisonment. You find yourself locked in a cell. It becomes very hard to make any type of mental or physical effort. So, in order to continue your path, there is only one option left. You need to find a way to get out from that hole, from that cell. Now, it's called restlessness. It is the state of an unsettled mind. Unsettled mind means your mind cannot settle. Settle where? Settle in the present moment. An unsettled mind either is worrying about the future or traveling into the past and rejecting, judging about an event that happened into your past. A simile used here is the monkey mind, constantly jumping from one branch to another, unable to stay for too long moment.
the monkey mind. And we could apply that to some of the people in the networking businesses too, right? That we're talking about. They're just jumping from company to company to company. When we learn from millionaires that have already done it right to stay the course in one company, especially if it has everything you need, especially if it has products that never expire. Whew. Don't let me get started. We won't even get to finish this, y'all. Good morning, everybody, too. Thank you for all commenting. And now it's powerful because I'm able to bring people's comments in. I love it. Thanks for the moderators for putting me on to this. Check this one out. You know, I got brother James Marsh up there. He calls me Professor Consul. I appreciate that, brother. I claim that. I'm gonna fulfill that, brother. I'm gonna fulfill that name. Some people may say I have already, but I appreciate you for that, man, for real. Top of the morning, brother. H-Town Rollins. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot more interesting because we can kind of cycle through and you know what I mean. We can see people's comments. I see my sister on here, Rahubat, Marie Stafford. Good to see you, Awu. It's nice to see everybody up on here. So yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. I want to get through this, and man, the 5 hindrances of self-mastery is what it's called. And of course, I'm not trying to rip anybody off for their footage or anything. So real quick, this is Master Shi Heng Yi, spelled S-H-I, capital E-N-G, capital Y-I. And this is the 5 hindrances of self-mastery. He did this on TED Talks TV. You can find this on YouTube. And additionally, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description so people can go ahead and, you know, give it its proper likes and views on YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to move on.
The problem is there is no time to see clearly anymore. Now, the last of the 5 hindrances is called skeptical doubt and is very traveler shared his path. And
shoot. Sorry, guys. Daggone it.
Present moment. An unsettled mind either is worrying about the future or traveling into the past and rejecting, judging about an event that happened into your past. A simile used here is the monkey mind, constantly jumping from one branch to another, unable to stay for a too long time at the present moment. Mm-hmm. The problem is there is no time to see clearly anymore. Now, the last of the 5 hindrances is called skeptical doubt and is very closely related to a state of mind which is based on indecisiveness. It is very easy in that state of mind getting lost in thoughts. Can I do this? Is this the right path? What will the other say? What if this? What if that? The mind cannot synchronize with your own actions anymore. And the result is that you are getting disconnected with the goals and aspirations that once you have set to yourself. When the way is filled with too much doubts, more often you will stop instead of moving on. That we know the 5 hindrances now, what are we going to do about them? You need to align and structure your life in such a way to prevent those hindrances from arising. If you are not successful, you need to use techniques in order to remove them. Each of these hindrances is placing a dark cloud on your mind or on the way of your climb. Simply remember one thing. Just let it rain. This is a 4-step method to help you removing those hindrances. The first step is Recognize in what state of the mind you are finding yourself in. Afterwards, learn to accept, acknowledge, and allow the situation or a person to be the way how it is are. Investigate your emotional and mental state and ask questions. Why did it come up? What is going to be the consequence if I remain in that state? And ultimately, non-identification means it is the practice. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not my emotion. It's just that I can see all these three aspects about me. All of our lifetimes, all of our lives are too unique to copy the past from someone else. To bring meaning to your life, to bring value into your life, you need to learn and master yourself. And don't let the hindrances stop you. If any of you chooses to climb that path to clarity, I will be very happy to meet you at the peak.
Ooh, that was some powerful stuff. Yeah, I hope that everybody was able to already find tremendous value in what I shared with you today. Man, I tell you, when I first watched this, it really touched me, and it touches me every time I watch it. But I had wrote down a few things. I guess you could say notes, if you will. And some of the notes I have is it says, let go of ill will, or you may not continue your journey. Doesn't say you will not be able to, but it says there's a chance you will not be able to continue your journey if you do not let go of ill will. That's some powerful stuff. And dullness, the prison of the mind. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck here. I've been stuck here before, admittedly. It's just where you almost can't optimize your behavior because of this kind of it's hard to explain for people that haven't been there. I probably couldn't put words on it, but some people have been there, and he said there's only one decision you can make. You either break out or you die there. And so, I encourage people to just consider the information that's there with the dullness, restlessness, skeptical doubt. So one thing is, when we talk about skeptical doubt, I have not too far back in my notes here, I believe we were talking about, I was doing some notes on Thai Best Freedom Call, not the most recent one, but the one previous to that. I don't have the date on this, but it would have been actually, let me get the date, would be more professional, I imagine. So the date on that freedom call would have been, you figure, this most recent one would have been the 29th. So that one would have been the 22nd. So these were notes from the freedom call on the 22nd. But he was talking about belief and being rock solid about your CEO of your company, rock solid about the company itself, rock solid about the product, which that's easy because it's gold, and rock solid about yourself. And so that's why I feel like the importance for continued self-development, I think it's so necessary for all of us because in order for us to feel better about ourselves, right? Thank you, thank you. I see people were chatting in for me. And I have such an amazing team here. Let me show. Good morning, Debbie Nixon. Good morning. And basically, for anybody that's just joining, I'm basically tying in to the 5 hindrances of self mastery, and I'm showing how one of the ones that he mentioned that was very important to him was to be able to have like a solid belief in yourself, or like a type of self mastery. And I was then taking that and applying that to networking, like I like to do so often. But yeah, welcome everybody that's on here. Everybody's just getting on, everybody that's been on. Oh yeah. And I definitely want to welcome the viewers that are not seeing this live. So if you did not get a chance to watch this live, I still welcome you. I'm glad that you're on here. So that's why I kind of say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. So yeah, I definitely want to give a big shout out to my viewers who are not currently watching, but are watching later. So my post viewers, my viewers, my live viewers, much love to everybody today. Good morning. I hope that added some value to your informational archive and to the importance of personal development. I'm gonna go, and I got one more note that I wanted to give y'all. It says he was talking about the cure, but he said, "What is your state of mind?" And I find that interesting because in the presentation that we do, that I'll be so honorably presenting tomorrow at noon, it talks about that, like where are you at right now? Where are you in life, right? So what is your state of mind? And then he said, investigate your emotional and mental state and ask questions. Hmm. Investigate your emotional and mental state and ask questions. It's pretty deep. It says, and he said, I am not the body, the mind, or the emotions. Well, I kind of rewrote this, but I am not the body, the mind, or the emotions. I am simply the observer. You must learn to master yourself. Just a few things that I took from it, a few notes that I hope that can add. So we're about out of time. The good thing is, this is my show. So if I want to go a little over time, I can. Of course, if I want to show this on TV, I would have to stay in the 30-minute segment. So I hope all you enjoy this new platform. I appreciate everybody being on here. I'm going to go ahead and maybe, well, one thing I like to do too is this platform I'm using can bring into up to 6 guests. So anybody that's interested in maybe guesting with me tomorrow, and coming in and trying this platform out with me on my Super Saturday is definitely welcome to do so. So just let me know, maybe inbox me if that's the interest of yours. I'd love to have you on the show, especially the viewers that are on here all the time. Uh, so, yep, it's about time to go, I guess. I want to say it's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a wonderful day to be in Carrot Wars. I want to make sure all of you tune in to today's power call, Gold Rocks, that info, 1045 Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching this live, if you're not, catch it tomorrow, same time, 6 days a week. Okay. Yeah, just remember, you got to tune into the power call, because it's not the power call. It's not a substitute. This is the unofficial pre-power call warm-up show. My name is Kansu Hotep Atum. And, I say before I get out of here every day, Wadu and Au.